Madam Chairman.
Mr.
DeMann. What is the percentage of newly developments that are HOA?
What is the percentage of new developments that are HOAs?
Yes.
Well, I don't mean to be flip, but I think I know where you're going. What is the percentage of new developments? Be very, very small, but by and large, the product that has been coming onto the market has been association-oriented. I think that's clear.
Madam Chairman, Mr. DeMann, isn't it about 90-10?
Madam Chairman, I would say that they are the dominant force. This is what the people that build these, or were building them, in responding to their consumers, have been building.
Madam Chairman, and Mr. DeMann, and where's the choice you were speaking of earlier to be able to buy outside of a HOA when we're talking about the new areas being mostly HOA?
Madam Chairman, Mr. Gowan, I think the question is a narrower one than I would answer. New developments, I raised a family for 17 years in a home on a street that, wasn't an HOA, and elected to take that family and move them into an HOA. So there's a great deal of available homes, I'd say, especially now, that are not in HOAs.
But, Madam Chairman, Mr. DeMann, the newer homes that people strive to get and attain, they have a contract when they have to buy it, so they can't say, I disapprove of the contract, so I don't want to enter into the contract. If I want to buy into this neighborhood, I must sign the contract, which in turn puts you into the HOA. So with that, my understanding is, where's the choice? That's what I need to ask. Where's the choice in that?
And Madam Chairman, I would not want to get into the process of counting, but the choice exists, and the issue that's important is that the alternatives do exist. I'm not going to wander down the road of anecdotes, but I can think of neighborhoods East Valley, West Valley, south of the Gila, side by side. And the situation is one, if you choose to move in to that neighborhood, then you have contractually obligated yourself. You've signed those papers. And what this legislature is doing becomes, slowly but surely, an issue of property rights. You have changed the nature, regardless of the choice they've made. You've changed the nature of the contracts that govern that association.
Mr. DeMann, that's my purpose here, is I'm thinking of property rights. I'm thinking property rights for the owner of the actual house. And if we can't choose where we go, and we must be forced mostly into the HOA divisions if we're going into a newer development, then are we not forced into contractual obligations that maybe we would not choose if we had a 50-50? Maybe we have a lot more areas that do not offer the HOA, and then you have some neighborhoods that do. But it seems as is, there's a lot more involved with the HOAs than there are not. So what I'm asking is, where's the line on choice? It seems like the choice is either HOA or you go to an older neighborhood. That's what it appears to me. And even the older neighborhoods are HOA up here. I'm just astonished because I come down from a region where you don't have a lot of HOAs and you have a lot of freedom, a lot of property rights, and a lot of freedom. When I get up here, I see that those property rights seem to be taken, and that's what I see involved here.
Mr. Chairman, Representative Gowan, I liked my home. I thought it was pretty new. The neighborhood was pretty new. It was central, not too far from the Capitol. I think that's an issue that you may want to discuss with the home builders and ask them what market forces cause them to make those decisions. There's an issue of what's called declarant control. They build these, they create these documents, and then leave homeowners with the rules. What we have proposed time and again, and would love to come to a consensus on this, is to change the thresholds so that, because the legislature seems to want to get into this contractual area. I mean, it renders the point moot. If you're going to go there, then let's create a uniform standard statewide that allows you to change those contracts. Not make it so high that it's unattainable, but make it reasonable so that when it is attainable, that, you know, you have some form of consensus. As for choice, again, I don't build them. I just defend them.
Madam Chair,
Madam Chair, yeah, just following Mr. Gowan's questioning, and welcome, Mr. Demena. It's good to
see you.
See you in committee, and Mr. Demena. I have had many discussions on HOA issues over the years. It's good to see him back in committee. However, having said that, just a couple issues that Mr. Demena brought up on talking about talk to the builders on what they're doing when they're building these developments, and it's consumer driven. I agree with part of that statement, but I also know that the builders do not get permits to build their developments unless they go to the cities to get their permits, and the cities are requiring that these HOAs be set up because they have given away or are giving away their ability and their right, or I shouldn't say they're giving that right away, but they're transferring the responsibility onto the HOA, the duties that the cities should be taking on themselves, and that hence is the reason that a lot of these HOAs have been set up. I would challenge Mr. Demena that I don't know of any development currently going or in the past that's being built by a builder or a large builder that's not HOA driven, and it's again because it's the cities that are requiring this. And I understand Mr. Gowan talking about private property rights and ownership. I lived in an HOA for a lot of years, and I didn't like it, to be honest. I couldn't get out quick enough. But the fact of the matter is affordable housing for me to do so was all in HOA-driven communities in the East Valley. So, Mr. Mann, I agree with lowering the threshold of changing some of these CC&Rs and regulations so the threshold can be met on working out some of these things in these HOAs, because right now to change the CC&Rs it takes a very large threshold to do that, and a lot of the community they can't even get 10 or 15% to show up to an HOA election, let alone achieve the threshold that's required to change some of the CC&Rs. So I understand that argument too, but just for the fact of the matter, Mr. Demena, do you know of any development where cities are not requiring HOAs for new developments to be established?
Madam Chairman, Representative Nichols, where they are not requiring HOAs?
Correct.
I'd be happy to get back to you. I'm not aware of many cities that are authorizing developments, so I think the historical analysis is what you're talking about.
Madam Chair, Mr. Demena.
I think it's important. I'll pass this around. I'm sorry, but I have only one picture. This is an HOA with a public roadway that is, if I recall, the measurements of 16 feet across, curb to curb. Car parked in the middle. The issues of emergency vehicles we've raised in the past. The issues of parking on a city street are issues of parking with the city.